And the governor of Taraba State, Darius Ishaku, has been nominated to run unopposed as the candidate of the People's Democratic Party 2019 governorship election in the state. The governor, who was speaking after collecting his party's ticket, thanked the people of the state and the PDP for the confidence reposed in him. He promised to do more for the state if re-elected for a second tenure.
Our people have seen it, that we have walked the talk. On May 29, 2015, I talked. By this year, they have seen the walk. And so we have walked the talk. And they felt that they should not bother me with bringing another candidate. And so I'm standing unopposed in PDP. I want to tell the whole Tarabans that I'm grateful. And I want to assure them that they have not seen anything yet. They will see far more in the second tenure.
A former chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Mr. Nuhu Ribadu, has also joined the race for the All Progressives Congress governorship for Adamawa State. Mr. Ribadu, a one-time presidential candidate of the Action Congress of Nigeria, will be challenging the incumbent governor, Mr. Bindo Dubrilla, for the APC ticket. While making his declaration at the APC Secretariat in Yola, the state capital, Mr. Ribadu lamented that the clashes between farmers and herdsmen have been allowed to linger for too long. He pledged that if given the opportunity, he would put a permanent stop to the conflict. He contested the 2015 governorship election in Adamawa on the PDP platform. He also says that he would work towards uniting the people of the state and restoring the dignity of leadership.
The most important is to bring good governance to Adamawa State. I want to give a leadership that people will believe and trust. I want to be honest with what I will do. I want to make sure that the resources that we have in this state will be used and utilized for the ordinary people of this state. I want to bring justice and fairness. I want to unify our people. I want to make sure that nobody is going to go home without being paid his salary, as what is going on today. I want to see if I can build things, new things, infrastructure. I want to see if we can have new hospitals, new schools. In the last 4 years, we have not had one single new school in Adamawa, not one single hospital or clinic. Things are not good for the people of Adamawa. I want to bring change to that. And most important, I think, I want to bring order, security to Adamawa State. You know, Adamawa is one of the states that is facing the challenge of insecurity, from the insurgency down to the herdsmen, farmers clashes. I want to bring a stop to it, and I think I will do it because I have the experience.
Another presidential aspirant, this time of the People's Democratic Party and former member of the House of Representatives, Dr. Dati Baba Ahmed, believes that most of Nigeria's corrupt practices take place within the context of procurement and contract awards in government establishments. These practices, he says, can be reduced by enforcing strict guidelines on procurement within such organizations. He told Channels Television's Ladia Keridoluale on our political program Roadmap 2019 that the present federal government is not fighting corruption.
About 70% of the way corruption is done in Nigeria is simple administration. Inflate the contract, there is no law which stops you. Nothing, you can pass all the bids, financial, commercial, engineering, technical, medical bid, even if there is such a thing. You still inflate the contract as you wish. Who loses? The Nigerian public loses. The Nigerian nation loses. So what they ended up passing is completely different from delivering service to the nation.
Which is what you propose.
Which is what I am proposing. Now, the mere fact of arresting somebody does not address the issue of corruption. It addresses the criminality aspect. What we should be technically interested in, how did that act of criminality happen? They inflated a contract. How will you stop it? control the mechanism. You no longer can inflate contracts because there are limits to what you can add. Logical limits, mathematical limits to what you can add.
To watch the full interview with Dr. Dati Baba Ahmed, do watch Roadmap 2019 tomorrow, Monday the 24th of September 2018 at 9 p.m. on Young Channels Television. Away from politics, alumni of the United States government's Mandela Washington Fellowship are training young Nigerian students on how to improve their communities and uplift disadvantaged populations with little resources. The Beyond the School Community Challenge identifies and rewards outstanding Nigerian primary and secondary school students who develop innovative solutions to local problems across sectors. In this report, our correspondent Adamawa Ngelari speaks to young leaders who say their focus is grooming succeeding generations for sustainable development.
Standing here against the backdrop of a social construct in which youths are often regarded as the means to an end rather than the solutions to problems, one young leader inspires youths to be more than what they are perceived to be.
We all go in pursuit of our own personal goals and vision. So there is a divergence instead of a convergence, because all of us are going towards different directions. So everybody picks their race. I'm going to do whatever it takes, whatever I can do for myself to get wherever I want to get to.
Young Nigerian students present here are not waiting for permission, recognition, or material benefits to live purposefully.
Almajiris, the little boys and girls that beg on the streets. I will be teaching these children different things that I've learned from my own excellent teachers. My excellent teachers will watch and observe and also correct us if we make some mistakes.
More innovative solutions and
a generation largely denied an opportunity to be groomed for official succession refuses to make the same mistake with successor generations.
They need to learn about the power of impact. They need to learn about the power of influence. If we don't learn all of these things, every other thing about change, every other thing about taking over will just be theory. But the way to practice it is to pass down what we know. The way to practice it is to engage the system. The way to practice it is to get involved in the community.
And we're seeing fantastic ideas coming from them. Yeah, and so with the little resources we have, we thought it wise that if we begin to fund these little ideas of theirs, we are sowing seeds of greatness, we are sowing seeds of serious and core solutions to the problem in Nigeria.
International observers take notice.
In many of the countries that I've visited, the energy that exuded by the youth of Nigeria who want to make a change and make a difference in their country.
Encountered here is a generation just realizing its true power at just the right time. The right time for those in need, and the right time for a nation searching for a generation of sincere custodians. Ajuri Ngelale, reporting for Channels Television News.
The Statistician General of the Federation, Mr. Yemi Kale, has been speaking on the significance of the Nigeria Living Standard Survey slated for September the 27th this year. According to the NBS boss, the survey will serve as a critical tool for the nation's rebasing.
United Nations estimates that Nigeria will be one of the countries responsible for most of the world's total population increase by 2050, projecting the population to hit 429 million people. However, according to a recent report from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Nigeria will have 152 million people in extreme poverty by 2050. To determine the level of poverty and welfare of Nigerians, development partners and government officials have gathered here to sensitize Nigerians on the 2018 Nigeria Living Standard Survey.
As we know, the subject of poverty is very critical to a developing country like Nigeria. Most, if not all, of government effort is geared towards ensuring that citizens are able to attain a decent standard of living, 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 a decent stand are not living within the traps of poverty, with which comes several negative effects and implications for both the individual and the society. As the principal agency responsible for the production and management of official statistics in the country, we'll be failing in our mandate if we are not providing the public, our government, and policymakers with useful and reliable statistics for them to deploy in designing and implementing poverty alleviation interventions and programs across the country.
The last survey was conducted in 2009, and a new one was due 5 years after. But financial and logistics constraints stopped the survey in 2014. This time around, the World Bank is providing support as the National Bureau of Statistics is planning to spend $3.5 million for the exercise. About 320 field officers will be engaged for the project.
It's extremely important for us to know the poverty status at the state level and the living standards also at the state level. But beyond that, the NLSS will also produce other important outputs for the government, whether that be for the national accounts or for the CPI, updating of the consumption basket. So the poverty aspect is important, but there are also other important benefits coming from the NLSS.
Over the next 12 months, the trained field officers will be deployed to households across the country to gather information on consumption, expenditure, as well as general living conditions of people. Although the result of the survey is expected in 2019, some indicators will be published quarterly.